Hey there, this is Martin from Zadas Gaming and back again with another Hustle Castle video. So this is the fourth video in our Hustle Castle Arena Guide series, and this time I wanted to go through the Arena store and basically go through what you can get, what I'd recommend, what you might want to avoid, and just to really help out, because there's a lot of choices to have. What you see will vary depending on your throne rune. So this is for the TR8. So if you're TR7, you might not have the legendary stuff. You might just have epic and common, and the pricing is obviously going to be different. Obviously, if you're TR9 and upwards, then there's going to be additional things here as well. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some diamonds to refresh this so we can see what there is. Now, I wouldn't recommend using these diamonds at all. It is kind of a waste of diamonds, to be honest. They do refresh after 6 days, so it's definitely not worth spending 300 diamonds just to refresh this. But I'm going to spend a few just for you, and hopefully that will help. You know, I'm more than happy to spend a few to help you guys out. So yeah, hopefully you find this video useful. So first of all, we've got a few here, so we're going to have a look. I mean, first of all, I wouldn't recommend spending any of these because these are only going to be rare and you can't tell what they're going to be. And the Master's Chest, this might vary depending on your throne room, obviously. You get 2 to 4 legendaries, 2 to 4 epics, and 4 to 6 rares. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest with you. So I personally wouldn't recommend doing that either. So what you'll see here is artifacts. Artifacts are, for me, they are a bit of a game changer. They can do so much and they can help you so much as well. So you want to make sure that everyone in your squad has artifacts, and you just want to bear in mind that they can't have the same artifact of the same name because it will only make one of those work. So just bear that in mind. And then below that we normally have an armor here and then a weapon as well. So let's have a look what we have here. So legendary Book of Prophecy. Once in a while, summons a ranged unit to the battlefield that attacks the most distant target, deals 2779 damage per second. So that's not bad. Personally, I wouldn't have that myself. It's pretty decent that it targets the distant targets. That means it'll probably go after your opponent's archers. So not bad, but I don't know necessary if I would go for that. I'd probably prefer an event artifact than that one. Every once in a while, cast a curse on the target and nearby enemies over 7 seconds. Enemies killed while the curse is active cannot be resurrected for 2 seconds. No more than 3 enemies can be cursed at once. So yeah, again, that's not bad. I do quite like cursing enemies. It can help quite a bit. Yeah, it's potential. It's not bad for 6,500. One thing you want to bear in mind is the requirements here. So you want to make sure that you get them for either your current squad or start stockpiling them for when you go up a bracket. So at the moment I'm saving up and getting 60 to 75 for when I go to 5 times 62. Orb of Oblivion activates every once in a while, so every so often it will activate and it reduces the health restoration in all enemies. Personally, I don't use that at all. There's a lot better Orb of Oblivion, so I wouldn't personally use that one. Let's have a look at this. When taking damage, there is a 30 to 33% chance of casting stasis on self and restoring. Yeah, not bad. Probably wouldn't do that, to be honest. I mean, if we look here, cannot move or attack, so maybe good for a healing mage, but yeah, probably wouldn't bother with that at all. When attacking, has a 25 to 29% chance of stunning enemy for 2.5 seconds. Critical damage increases by 100%. Yeah, not bad, but I don't think I'd use that. Maybe for my poison mage, that might be good. They're currently using a mace that stuns, and stunning is pretty handy. So let's give this a refresh, see what comes next. Yep, and let's have a look. So we have, once in a while when an ally is resurrected, it will deal damage to a fighter that has used an artifact and 3 further random enemies and stuns them for 1.8 seconds. Now that's not bad. And the reason it's not bad is because the way I've got my squad set up, I do have a res mage, and I have my poison mage is resed every single fight, and my tank also reses based on their armor they've got. So I can guarantee that I'll have one ally resurrected at least every fight. And this is quite good that it will damage a fighter that has used an artifact and then an additional 3 enemies and then stuns them. I suppose the drawback to that is that if that happens at the start of the fight, there's no guarantee that the artifact would have actually, if they would have actually used an artifact. And one of my current artifacts actually prevents them from using artifacts as well, so that might not work for my squad, but it's quite an interesting one. Rune of Authority, once in a while after enemy minion is summoned, slows the next ability cooldown. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that. You're relying on the enemy summoning a minion, and it doesn't happen all the time or often, so I wouldn't bother with that one. And yeah, it's the bad doctor again, so I wouldn't worry about that either, to be honest with you. Upon dying, reanimates with blah blah health once in a while, so it's not guaranteed. Once in a while is most of the time, so that might be good for an archer, so that's not bad. So yeah, that would be good for an archer or a DPS. If if you don't potentially have a res mage, then this might be useful. And when an ally dies, the magic's weapon's ability cooldown is reduced, does not activate when summoned ally dies. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that one. Let's have another look. Pearl of Wisdom. When an ally is resurrected, the unit's damage is reduced by 90%, but their ability cooldowns are reduced by 80%. So like I say, I always have allies resurrected, but I don't want the damage to be reduced, so I don't think I'd do that one. That's the same as before, so it slows down the enemy's cooldowns, speeds up the next ability cooldowns in all allies by 20%, so it does increase those. And like I say, always resurrected, but yeah, I don't think that'd work, but it's not bad. And once in a while when an ally dies, summons a sniper. So I do actually use this because I have my poison mage. They always die, so I can always get a extra sniper in the background. To be honest, it's not a lot of damage. I'd prefer this to be legendary, and it is just there for the time being, so it's not bad. It's good if you've got a poison mage. It would be worth having if you've got an empty artifact slot. Smasher Mace. So when attacking, has a 30 to 33% chance of stunning an enemy for 2.5 seconds. Each hit increases damage by 22% when the target damage is reduced to its initial value. So that's not bad. So that's 3367. What's my current one? So let's have a look. 3367. So yeah, it's about the same. I think it's pretty much what I've already got, so that's not bad for my poison mage. Main reason I've got that is because it stuns them for a bit. It just gets them out there in the front, and it can help to potentially stun the enemy. Fiery Feather. Once in a while deals damage plus spell power damage to the enemy with the greatest amount of health and restores an equal amount of health in the ally with the least health. So that's not too bad. So damage the one with the greatest health, which is going to be their tank, and also helps to restore health with an ally. So that could potentially be useful if you don't have a healing mage, but that could be quite a handy one to have. Let's refresh it again. Okay, I think I'm going to get some similar ones here. So once in a while when an ally dies, summons a minion with healing ability. So the same as the summoned archer, but instead this summons a healer. Don't particularly need that, to be honest with you. Once in a while when an ally dies, Dusty Artifact prevents all enemies from using artifacts for 3.5 to 4 seconds. Now, this one, Dusty Antiques, is one that you do want to get 100% if you're running a poison mage. So, and even if you're not, to be honest, it's a really good artifact to have. So I'll show you where I use that. So if I come to this one here, he has it here, so Dusty Antiques, and this activates when an ally dies. So my poison mage would die every single time straight away. And if you add in the Rune of Transformation, then it becomes really powerful. So it prevents all enemies from using their artifacts for 4.5 seconds. And it then also takes an artifact from a random enemy that is still alive to use it against the enemy squad. So this has been really useful. So what it basically does is it will stop your enemy from using artifacts, but then will also allow you to steal one of their artifacts and randomly use it against them. And that's helped me so many times with the egg that I don't have, that is really powerful. It's helped me so many times and won me a lot of fights. So this, if you can get Dusty Antiques and you've got the Rune of Transformation, then 100% get it. Really worth the wrong one. Really worth the arena points. I would definitely get that. So once in a while, upon dying, summons 2 skeletons. This is useful if you run a kind of an assassin character fighter. So if you have a DPS up front with, say, the daggers and archer equipment, then this is really useful, because it will, when it dies, it will summon 2 skeletons, which is going to help protect your mages in case your front line goes down, until hopefully a res mage will heal your will res up your tank or your DPS. So that's quite useful. And again, stun, so I won't bother with that. And let's have a look. So we have now Rod of Life. So once in a while summons a minion with a healing ability. So again, not bad. If you don't have a healing mage, then this could be quite useful to get a little bit of healing. It's not a massive amount, so yeah, it's not too bad. 3,000 per second, lasts for 12 seconds. But what you have to bear in mind is that most fights in arena are not going to last 12 seconds. You know, you want to end them in 5-6 seconds. So by the time this actually activates, the fight's probably going to be over. So I wouldn't spend that. Once in a while deals damage to a fighter that is using an artifact and to 300. So yeah, I personally probably wouldn't use that either. Once in a while when an ally is resurrected, summons a minion with healing. So again, when someone's resurrected, it brings a healer. What we've got here, so this is what I have on my tank, I believe. So upon dying, reanimates with health once in a while. So this tends to happen quite often, to be honest, and it's quite good on my tank, because when he does die, which you don't want them to die obviously, but if they do, it can reanimate and just protect your squishier squad, such as your mages and your archers. So it's really useful. And we've seen that one already, so refresh. Okay, I think a lot of these are going to start repeating. So yeah, there's a time distortion. Once in a while after an enemy minion is summoned, do the damage, but again, they don't always summon. Once in a while when an enemy is resurrected, summons a minion healer. So this time it's when an enemy resurrects one of their fighters, it will summon a healer for your side. I would never get an artifact that relies on something for the enemy to do. So for them to res or something like that, I wouldn't ever touch that, because there's no guarantee that they've got a res mage, and therefore that would never actually set off. Upon dying, stuns enemies in an area for 2.5 seconds. I think there's better ones than that. It's not bad, but I think there are potentially better ones. And we've seen that one, although this is a bit different. So once in a while strikes the closest enemy with lightning. That deals this plus spell power. The lightning jumps over to nearby enemies up to 3 times, reducing physical and magic armor affected enemies by 10%. So it doesn't actually hurt them, but just reduces their physical and magical armor. So yeah, I won't bother with that. What we got next? So Celestial Key. Once in a while when an enemy is resurrected, so again I won't bother with that. Slows the ability to cool down, so yeah, not bothered about that. Once in a while deals damage when an artifact is used, so again not the best. Again when an enemy is resurrected. What we have here, when taking damage there is a 39 to 42% chance of reflect, which is not bad. 170-182% damage to the attacker, ignore his or her armor, so that's quite good actually. I'd prefer it to have health as well, or health instead of damage if it was a tank. This seems to be more like a tank that's taking damage, so you would want health rather than damage, I think, but that's not too bad. When attacking, has a 17 to 19% chance of restoring health to themselves. After any resurrection has been activated, the fire equipped with this weapon deals 50% more damage. Yeah, that's not bad. I wouldn't go for it with it being an epic, but it's not bad. It's it is what it is. You can get a lot better, to be honest. Summons a ranged unit to the battlefield that attacks the most distant target, so yeah, we've had that before. Again, here's another dusty antique, and this only happens when an ally dies, so rather than it being once in a while, it's when an ally dies, which is a little bit more restrictive, so you want to bear that in mind. And this is the same, but obviously for a lower requirement. So if you already have this but you need it for a higher one, then it's there as well. Demon's Bite Axe, when attacking, has chance of dealing splash damage. Each hit damages by 24% when it. Yeah, I won't bother with that personally. Okay, now this is one that you do want. So once in a while, on death, poisons all enemies dealing this amount of damage over 5 seconds. The poison reduces attack and movement speed by 10% for 5 seconds. So this is a poison armor for a mage, and this is what I run, but I go for the legendary, to be honest. I don't think I'd go for the epic. The legendary will do so much more damage, so I would keep on waiting at this stage for the legendary. If I was planning on moving to the next bracket soon, and I was just waiting on this, then I might be tempted to get this one. Poison armor's definitely a good strategy to go for, so I would definitely recommend poison armor. And most come out as epics rather than legendaries. I've only seen legendary come up once, so bear that in mind. So we'll run it a few more times. Again, these are all very similar. Bad Doctor. Upon dying, stuns enemies in the area. When attacking, has a 70-90% chance of dealing damage to a group. Once in a while, the unit takes several shots at an enemy attack. A number of shots 3. So that's not too bad. So this can damage a group and also do 3 shots to an enemy archer, which is quite handy. So that's not too bad. You'd hope for more damage though, to be honest. And if you are TR8, then it's going to have gem slots as well. 2 to 3 sockets is not very much at all, so yeah, I probably wouldn't bother with epics. And let's have a look. Anything new here? So this is good. This is it's not bad. I use this once in a while Abysmal Summoning deals damage to and stuns all enemies for 0.8 seconds. Summons a minion next to the enemy. So I use this on my Poison Mage, but it's slightly different. So if I go to my Poison Mage, we can see it here. And it activates, rather than once in a while, it activates on death. So my Poison Mage is always going to die. So this will always activate. And it has the Rune of Transformation on this one as well. Maybe that's what that is. And it deals the damage. But then also when the summoned monster dies, it will explode and then stun 3 enemies for 1 second. So it not only causes damage, but also stuns as well. So really useful. So let's have a look back here. We'll do it a couple more times and see what we get. So this is not bad for a healing mage. So when it dies, it restores this amount of health to all allies. So that's not too bad. If you've got a healer or a res, that gives you a bit of extra healing if it does die. And then again, we have the one that reanimates that we had a moment ago. So let's refresh. Now what do we have? We have once in a while prevents enemy mages using their weapons. I won't bother with that. Wouldn't bother with time distortion. Some of sniper. Again, we've seen this one. I won't bother with that one. So there's, to be honest, there's not a lot I would take from here. This is a good one. So this is a insta kill. So once in a while, instantly kills a target if it has less than 35% health. Each enemy unit will take 50% of the damage done. So this is really good. So if we go to my insta kill here, so that has this here, and it has this rune. I can't remember what that rune is, but basically it takes it from 35% to 40%. And it adds this here. So once in a while, instantly kills a target if it has less than 40% health. Each enemy unit will take 50% of the damage done. 70% of the damage done is distributed among all allies as healing. So what will basically happen is if anyone is below 40%, it will kill them, and then the rest will take 50% of the damage done, and then it will also heal allies as well. So it's really, really useful. And the insta kills work really well with Poison Mage, because the Poison Mage hopefully deals a decent amount of damage when the Poison Mage dies, and then the insta kill kicks in and hopefully kills a good percentage of them. So if there's an insta kill weapon, I would definitely recommend it. These I wouldn't worry too much. Right, final curse daggers. So when attacking, has a 12 to 13% chance of dealing 100 in 5 seconds. After any resurrection has been activated, a fire equipped with this weapon deals 80% more damage, lasts for 7 seconds. So this could be really good for a DPS. So if you've got an assassin at the front, then this could be really useful, especially if you've got an assassin running with a poison mage or a res mage that does a lot of resurrection. So like I said, I'll always have at least 1 or 2 reses in each fight, so this could be useful. I don't think it'd fit into my squad at the moment, but it could be handy. And we've seen those ones, so let's have I've got that one again, which is a bit irritating. So these are all the same. A lot of the time they're the same, but they just changed what activates them. So this is what I've got on my Poison Mage. So activates on death. It deals damage to all. So it's really useful, that one. It happens every single time, and it's really useful. So how many diamonds have I spent? So I've not spent too many. So let's have a couple more goes, and then we'll call it a day. So we'll refresh that. And yeah, again, I do like the backstab, teleporting behind the enemy for 6 seconds. That could be really, really useful, because if it teleports behind them, it's going to go after their archers and get rid of their main DPS. So that is really good, but I don't like how it activates. So once in a while after an enemy minion is summoned, so there's no guarantee that's going to happen. So the backstab is good, but the way it activates isn't. Again, this isn't, I mean, the damage the fighter does is reduced by 90%, but their ability cooldown is reduced by 60%, but this is only when the enemy is resurrected, so again, I wouldn't go for that. Once in a while when an ally is resurrected, summons their minions, that's fine, not too bad. Summons the skeletons again like previously. Okay, let's have a look what we got here. When an ally is resurrected, deals damage. Yep, so that's fine, we've seen that. Again, it's the backstab, but it's when an enemy is summoned, so that's not great. Bag Doctor again to reduce the health restoration that enemies have. I never see any major benefit to that, to be honest. Right, I think we're going to do this as, I was going to do that as the last one, but I'm not. I'm going to do the next one as the last one. Let's have a look. So, cast Bloodlust on a fighter, decreasing their health by 40%, increase in damage curse caused by that. Yeah, I don't like Bloodlust, to be honest. I mean, it's not my kind of fighting, so I won't bother with that. So this is the last time. See if there's a decent. I don't think there is. So once in a while, explosive damage. When an enemy is resurrected, we summon a healer. Once in a while, no. That's not too bad, but I wouldn't have this bit because that's my poison mace. I wouldn't have resurrection activated because it'd be my poison mage that is resurrected, so I don't think that would work, and that's not great, so not too bad. So yeah, we refreshed it a few times, spent about 2,500 diamonds to show you that. Hopefully it was useful. Like I say, artifacts can be really useful, and when you want to look at artifacts, you want to look at how they can work together with your entire squad. So obviously this is my tank, so it has the ghostly aid, so that helps to keep this tank alive, and that's helped a great deal. We have the dusty antiques to prevent the enemies using artifacts, and this happens when an ally dies, so that's going to happen when my poison mage dies. Here's my poison mage, so when my poison mage dies, which it will summon this. So this artifact works really well with the previous artifact. It's all about when this character dies. And again, this is the one that summons the sniper when my ally dies. So again, it's all about when an ally dies. So every time my poison mage dies, that's 3 artifacts straight away which are fired. And once in a while when an enemy is resurrected, it summons a sniper. So I've probably changed this one, to be honest. I don't like it when an enemy is resurrected. To be honest, I didn't even know I was using this one, so I definitely think I'm going to change that one at some point. Yeah, I think I should have changed that whilst I've been looking at them, to be honest. Oh well. So yeah, definitely look for artifacts and events. They're going to be the strongest ones, 100%. So yeah, definitely go for those artifacts. Again, for this lot, one more time, why not? Vow for Life, I've got that already. So for this lot, I wouldn't really bother with these weapons. It's just some of the artifacts. The main ones that I'd go for is artifacts that are going to aid your squad. Go for the poison armor, go for the insta kills, and then other than that, I don't think I would bother. I think everything else I'd go for event gear. So yeah, there we go. I really hope that's helped. Bit of a longer video than I planned, and hopefully it wasn't boring watching me go through those different things. Hopefully it has helped. Post in the comments below if it has. Any questions, let me know, and until next time, bye for now.